Bonjour, hello there. It's Mary Schiller, author and coach of maryschiller.com, where I really want to help you to have the business and life you want in a way that is simpler, faster, and funner. I love the word funner, even though it's not a real word. I am so happy to be here talking with you as I am doing this Facebook Live in the Healthy Wealthy Coach. It is, what is the date today? December 12th, 2019. We are approaching the end of the year rapidly here, and I hope that you are taking some time to reflect on what you have achieved this year and what you would like to achieve in the new year, 2020. If you are joining me live, please type a comment anytime. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for taking the time to do that. And again, please type a comment or question anytime. I will come back and check and see what you have had to say. So the last few days, as I am doing this, I have been sharing with you what I believe are the necessary shifts, that's a hard word to say, to becoming the healthy, wealthy coach that you really want to be. Just really briefly, the first shift was you got to decide that you actually want to be a coach. And luckily, that's a fairly easy decision to make because it will be obvious to you if it's something that you really want to do. And I encourage you to go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it yet, because I say some really key things in there about people I've worked with who went through a lot of coach training and spent a lot of time and energy and money on that, and were afraid to admit that it wasn't what they wanted to do. And it's totally okay if you don't want to be a coach, and it's totally okay if you do. And these are the shifts that need to happen if you do want to do that and you want to have a wonderful impact and income from that profession. So that was shift one, is you got to decide. Shift two was that you need to start living the transformation and the impact that you want to make on other people's lives and the kind of transformation you want them to have. Hi, Allie. Thanks for being here. One person in the comment mentioned that in that particular shift number two, it's not about teaching, it's also about living. And I just would say you have to walk the walk. It's one thing to teach people something, but it's another to really be embodying that. And it doesn't mean perfection. It just means that you are, continually conscious about how you're living. Hi, it's so nice to see you. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining. All right, so that was shift two. Shift three was a little bit controversial, perhaps, about how coaching is actually a luxury profession, a luxury offering, and that we can provide other means that don't involve our one-to-one time to help people, like putting out books or audios or things like that. But our time and our expertise that we are giving in a one-to-one session, hey Lynn, or a group session has to be priced and at a level that indicates the luxury of this profession. So if you haven't seen that one, please go back and watch shift number three, because you may start seeing coaching in a very, very different way after watching that video. So shift number four, I've really been looking forward to this one today, because gosh, this is just something that I encounter all the time. I mean, I just encounter this all the time with people who are struggling to get a coaching business off the ground and are wondering why they can't seem to do it. Some people recognize that they need to make this shift and they haven't made it yet. And my suspicion is maybe they need to make one of the other shifts first. But in any case, this one is super duper important. And so drum roll, please. Shift number four to becoming the healthy, wealthy coach. You've got to get over yourself. You've got to get over yourself and get out there and start making offers. Okay, you got to get over yourself, get out there and start making offers, meaning for pay. Okay. And as a little important PS, you have to do this consistently. You have to do this consistently. So let me tell you what I see a lot of coaches and other entrepreneurs, but I'm thinking primarily of coaches. What I see a lot of coaches doing is they will hide behind all kinds of things. They will, share occasionally on social media, but it may be something like an inspirational quote. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But if that's kind of your MO, if that's what you're doing most of the time, I'm guessing you're probably not getting a lot of paying clients from that. And not only that, but they will do it infrequently. So it's not like they are putting up content every day, but they'll do it every once in a while. There's no schedule, there's no plan, there's no kind of daily accountability. Sorry, got some yarn in my mouth. Oh, and Allie, this is another homemade one, since you liked my other one. Or another thing that I see people do is they are absolutely terrified of doing something like this, a Facebook Live. And, if you are using the online world as your main source of clients, you simply have to show up live because people have to be able to see you and hear you and interact with you in real time. I don't care what platform you use to do it. You can use YouTube. You can do YouTube Live now. You can do Facebook. You can use a paid service like Crowdcast or Webinar Jam or any of the wonderful platforms like that. There's so many things. Zoom. You can use anything you want. But you've got to start showing up in a live setting. I see a lot of coaches doing recordings, and there's nothing wrong with video recordings, but they cannot substitute for a live broadcast or live stream. Just can't. And I also see a lot of coaches who will maybe do one live stream. Maybe they have a small group or even a larger group on Facebook, but they're not doing this kind of thing regularly. In my opinion, if you're going to really start to connect, because this is all about connecting with people, if you're going to really start to connect with people, you've got to do this over and over and over again, regularly on a schedule, because you're not going to catch everyone every single time. And the beautiful thing, and this is a little bit of an aside, it just came to me to mention this to you. The beautiful thing about this and about having a coaching business is that you do not need 50 million followers on social media. You don't need an email list of thousands and thousands of people. You don't need hundreds of clients to make a wonderful impact and income. It may surprise you to know that my email list is just over 1,000 people. And it's been at that level for 2 years. I'm only just now starting to want to expand my reach I'm experimenting with Facebook ads and things like that, because I decided I wanted to increase my audience. But I feel at least I have made an impact and a really good income from, out of that 1,000 subscribers who have changed over, obviously they've not all stayed, from a small core group of people who have worked with me several times. You don't need tons of people. You're trying to connect with a person at a time, one person at a time. So for instance, when I'm on a Facebook Live like this, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I'm talking to this whole group of 250 people. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You are here with me inside my heart and soul and in my mind. You are with me. I'm talking to you. And, that is what people need when they are looking for help with a problem. You know, it may surprise you to realize that nobody's interested in hiring a coach. Okay? Nobody wants a coach. Nobody wants coaching. That's not what people are after. They are looking for someone to help them solve a problem. And if you aren't showing up as your wonderful self regularly in front of them, they are not going to see you as a potential provider of that solution. They just won't. This kind of goes back to what I was saying in shift number 3 about professionalism. You know, one of the reasons that I have now decided to embark on doing advertising is because I feel that it lends some professionalism and credibility. I wasn't ready to do that before, and I'm not suggesting that you go out and do that at all, because I haven't been ready to do it until now, and it takes a lot to get ready for that. However, you can boost your credibility and your level of professionalism by showing up in front of people regularly and consistently, and, you know, being your authentic self and offering support in this way. I love live video because, like I said, it really shows people that you're willing to talk with them in real time and be present with them, and it really gives them a sense of how you are in conversation with them. Oh, hi, Anne. Nice to see you here. And but you can also intersperse that with other things, of course, you know, other things on social media. If you have an email list, communicating with them regularly and inviting them to talk with you, because of course that is also part of this shift, is that if we're going to have a business makes money. And a business makes money because there are paid offers that people are buying. So I also get the feeling that a lot of coaches are kind of allergic to money. Like, they don't want to even get to that point where money is potentially changing hands. They want to just avoid that whole moment altogether. So they may be present and they may be doing things even somewhat consistently, but they're not inviting people to talk to them, to make offers to them. They're just skipping over all that part. And so it's really about, as I said, the shift is about getting over yourself, meaning I'll go into that in a second. You know, you just got to get out there, and then you've got to start connecting and making paid offers. What do I mean by get over yourself? I mean, there's a lot of meanings to that, but what it looks like to me at this very moment is that a lot of the people who are hiding, who are not coming forward and saying, you know, this is what I can offer, this is how I can help, you know, who aren't showing up on social media, or even if you're working in person with people who aren't setting up workshops, or, you know, trying to find places they can give talks or whatever. It's because they're listening to a whole lot of thinking that's about me, I. Oh, I don't feel confident. Oh, I don't think anybody will like what I have to say. Oh, I look bad on camera. Or, you know, you guys might have seen the picture I put up of myself with no makeup on. I just got up, whatever. You know, I don't care about any of that stuff, because that is not my focus. My focus is on you. You matter to me. Your success matters to me. And if I get a lot of thinking in my mind that's about me, I ignore it. I just am like, I'm not going there, because it's not about me. And if you're a coach who is worried about those kinds of things, you're looking in the wrong direction. You need to turn that gaze out there towards the people who are looking for you, and the people who can benefit from your beautiful experience and expertise as a coach. It's not about you, it's about them. What can you do for them? I often say, and this is still 100% true, that when I get up in the morning and I think about what I want to work on in my business, I'm always thinking, what can I do to benefit these folks that I'm trying to help? What can I create for them If it's a paid offer, I mean, you should see how much care I give when I put a paid offer together and how much goes into it, how much thought goes into it, because I don't want to waste anyone's time. I want to make sure that it really helps people. I give a lot of thought to, you know, what I say in these kinds of Facebook Lives. It doesn't mean that I write out, you know, an entire speech, but I do have either a written down or a mental note of what I want to say, because I don't want to waste your time. And my thought is always on, how can I help you? What can I do for you? What can I say today that might inspire you? What can I produce? What can I create? What can I offer, paid or free, that will help you take your business to the next level, whatever that is? That is what is on my mind. And so if you are caught in this little merry-go-round in your head of, oh, I'm scared to tell people what I do, or I don't think I can promise a result to people, or, you know, I'm uncomfortable being on camera, I don't really feel good about doing a live broadcast, or what if I invite people to a Zoom call and nobody shows up? Well, I have all of those same thoughts too. I have had experiences of inviting people to a Zoom call and nobody shows up. So you know what I do in those cases? I create a recording and I share that. You know, I just talk about whatever the subject is, I record it, I share it. So, you know, this is what I mean about getting over yourself and getting out there, and then making sure that when you are out there, at least some of what you're offering has to be for money. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to have a business, because a business makes money. This is a distinction that I've talked about in other contexts where, you know, this goes really back to shift number one about, you got to decide, is this a hobby? Is this something that you just do because you don't care about making it into a profitable enterprise, or is it a business? And if it's a business, then there are certain things that have to occur. And one of those is you have to put paid offers in front of people and see if they like them. A lot of people spend a lot of time trying to figure out what people want before. They'll spend months and even years trying to sort that out. You can't do it that way. No company does it that way. You know, unless you're Coca-Cola or, you know, some car maker, and you can do, you know, tons and tons of market research and all of that ahead of time, you're not going to know until you put something out there and you get a response. And that's what business is about. It's about testing. It's about getting out there, doing things consistently, putting offers out there, and seeing what clicks with people, seeing how they respond, seeing how, you know, how they either, you know, if they don't respond, then, you know, figuring out, okay, what am I doing that isn't clicking with them? How can I change my message? How could I change the offer to make it appealing to them, so that, you know, it's not necessarily that I'm trying to think, oh, how can I make more money? It's like, no, how can I say this in a way or convey this in a way that clicks with them, so they know that I am the person who can help them? You know, how can I speak their language? And that only comes once you get out there. It can't be figured out ahead of time. It can't be figured out simply by sitting behind the computer screen and scrolling through Facebook and making the occasional post. It can't be done like that. This is a consistent thing that you simply must do. I don't know of any person in business who has made any kind of money for themselves, or who has had any level of success, who hasn't really put themselves forward, like I said in shift 3, as a leader and as a professional, and then has done that consistently and put paid offers in front of people. It just can't happen otherwise. So if you're on here live, I'd love to hear if you have any comments or questions about this. What thoughts do you have about this topic, about getting over yourself, getting out there, and connecting with people so that you can make paid offers? Because without a paid offer, no money's going to happen. And you can't figure this out ahead of time. You know, you have to be willing to step forward, like we've already talked about, kind of get over your own thoughts about what you may be lacking or how people might respond. And, you know, most of us, myself included, have all kinds of crazy ideas about how we come across and all these things. And I guarantee you that nobody's noticing any of those things. You know, they are looking for help. They are looking for a solution. They're looking for inspiration. They're looking for guidance. And that's what you can provide to them. I'm just trying to see. I hope if there are comments here, I'm not seeing them. So if you are, I'll have to come back afterwards and check. Let me just look on my phone really, really quickly and just see if I missed anything. Hang on a second. No, I guess not. So anyway, before I wrap this up, let me just give you another chance. If you're on here live or if you're watching the replay, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. You know, what do you think about this idea that, you know, there's not going to be a healthy, wealthy coach business if you're not getting out there, if you're not connecting with people regularly, and you're not making paid offers? That just, those three things just have to happen. So it's not about, you know me, I'm not into the whole mindset thing. I don't really understand that whole conversation. But what I do know is that if I hear a lot of thinking in my head that says, oh, marry this, marry that, I'm like, whoa, I don't need to look there. I want to look at you. You know, I tend to bore myself a little bit. I would rather put my focus on you and hear what's on your mind and be able to offer some help to you in a way that I feel I can. And if you approach being a coach from that angle, you can't go wrong. You simply can't go wrong. And it will be a joyful experience for you to connect with people regularly and get into conversation with people one-to-one or in groups or however you want to do that. I highly recommend one-to-one calls, especially if you're first starting out. It's the best way to connect with people and make paid offers. So this is an essential shift. And, you know, it's my hope that if you are kind of hiding yourself, if you're not really being visible, if you're not telling everybody you know what you do, I really want you to consider that there is somebody out there who is waiting to hear from you. There's somebody out there who can use what you can give them. And you could change their life. You literally could change their life simply by stepping forward, by getting over all of this stuff and just going, you know what? I'm always going to have thoughts like that. They're always going to be there, and I'm just going to go for it anyway. I'm going to start to be more visible. I'm going to start connecting with people because that personal connection is everything in a coaching business. And I'm going to start making some paid offers. It's really not that complicated. Everybody thinks business has to be this big, complicated thing. It's not. It's about having something to offer and connecting with someone and bringing those two things together. That's it. Offer, someone who is looking for that offer, or someone you could at least share it with. That's how business happens. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. I've really been enjoying our conversations about these shifts to becoming a healthy, wealthy coach. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this video or any of the others, so please feel free to share them. And if you've been on here live, it's been fun having you here, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Okay? Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye.